All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by a very special guest. We are joined by Heather Gay from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm thrilled.
We are very excited to have you. Salt Lake City has had me locked in since the first season. Just gets crazier and crazier.
True.
How is it watching these seasons back? Because we're at the start of season 3, so
Right.
It feels like things are just starting to amp up a little bit.
Things are definitely starting to amp up season 3, and it's just been such a whirlwind. Like, I didn't think that we could have like more heightened experiences from what we experienced season 2.
Yeah.
But somehow we're still upset about a lot of things. So there is major drama.
I want to jump right into it.
Yeah.
You guys took a trip to Arizona, and it was very funny because everybody's joking that like you guys never get the cool trips.
I mean, it's Arizona. It's just south of where we're at.
Yeah,
We're in that belt. We can't
Isn't
escape
it right? Like it's right over there?
Literally right. And we went to Scottsdale, which is like primarily Mormon and white. And I was just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
It was
just not really a huge vacation.
It's not Turks and Caicos. No. It's not Amsterdam. I've watched Housewives. I know where these ladies go. They don't go to Scottsdale, Arizona, unless they're from like New York. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's they're going to like
Just
Colombia.
a complaint, formal
like,
complaint. I would like a shipwreck in Cartagena. I don't want Arizona boozing bikes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a bachelorette party. That's basically a bachelorette party
with the makeup artist / twerk instructor.
Yes. But the trip kind of took a turn, one might say, when Whitney had kind of a come to God moment. I don't even know how to describe it, where she's like, I have to get this off my chest.
A truth-telling healing journey that did not seem very healing at all.
Yes. And now it's interesting watching, because as the viewer, you see all the conversations happen. So you're like, Whitney, you brought up the Salt Lake, the jazz tickets guy. Like you were the one who told that story. But it didn't seem to, or maybe it does, but as of right now, it does not seem that Whitney gets any flack for that at all.
No, it seems like it's just like been jumped over to how like no one's talking about how this was her story and she was throwing me and Angie under the bus to join in. And I'm just trying to say, I love you, I support you, but not this. I don't know it.
Right.
Let's talk about something I can speak to.
Right. I mean, Meredith is the one, like Meredith said, I've heard rumors, and Whitney said, I've heard some too, and here's what I heard. And then that's the one she reshared with the group. And Lisa obviously was very unhappy about that, but she doesn't seem to be that mad at Whitney.
I know. I'm like, but she's totally into it. And she's like, the bad truth is worse than a good lie. And I'm like, this is true? Like, where's the bad truth? Where's that coming from?
Right.
Yeah.
Have you and Whitney ever kind of yelled at each other like that before?
Never. That was like a drunken rage fight. We made up quite quickly, immediately, because it was just so frantic. And then I think she was upset and ripped up the card. And I didn't even, that was just like that was a girls' trip raging lingerie fight. Yeah. But then it just seems to be getting worse.
Lingerie.
I mean, thank you.
Yeah. And it's great that you guys got past it quick, because we watch on other franchises that some fights like this can last on for years.
Yeah,
like,
but we're no Meredith and Lisa. We're going to have a quick cycle, I thought, but we've just been watching it back makes it charged and hard to you're right back there. And then you also see the confessionals and the stuff they say, and you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah. Right.
This has taken a turn.
So how do you stop yourself from getting mad again, or just like letting it go when you watch it back?
Well, I mostly just like abuse toxins and and cry into my pillow. And you put your phone down. It's fun to feel it again. That's kind of the fun of the Housewives, and it's not fun to feel it, but it's fun to be in it and the whole process. And I just want to see what happens next, because I'm learning stuff about how she feels about our friendship every episode. Yeah. And that's what's making it hard.
When you and Whitney were speaking at the restaurant in I think you guys were still in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. When I was like evil, like murdered her with words.
Yes. I was going to say, when you watch that back, do you think do you see more of the outside perspective of it? Because I think it was Lisa, or maybe it was Meredith. It was either Lisa or Meredith who was like, do you think Whitney was coming from a place of like she's going through processing her trauma and she was just upset. And like watching back, do you think I could have been a little more
absolutely.
sensitive?
I watch it back and I think, I feel horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And it also, I was so clearly upset about the Lisa rumor, but it just trumped the fact that she was still reeling from all of the abuse stuff that she had revealed to us. And that was the first time we had heard that. And she said she didn't want to talk about it. So I thought, okay, we're putting that aside. But now we're talking about this. And I just felt horrible about the way I spoke to her. I thought I looked terrible, just mean, and angry. And I was just like, I'm going to fight. You're being a total bitch. I'm going to try to fight with a pleasant face from now on, because I just didn't like seeing that. It didn't feel good. And I felt like I want to just be kinder to my friend. She was my favorite person on the show. She was my one person. And so I don't like it, and I hate watching it back.
What has, where is Angie H? I feel like we're on The Bachelor sometimes with it.
Yeah, I know. We got an Angie H and Angie K.
Yes, Angie H. How her relationship, I know she's been had been friends with Lisa for decades.
20 years, that's
20
what
years.
they're saying. Yeah.
How long have you known Angie H?
So Angie and I had peripheral friends. Her ex-husband was dear friends with my brother, and they both played football at BYU together. And it's just kind of this little insular community, and she was also an influencer, and I worked with influencers and did photography and stuff. So we knew of each other peripherally. We had never hung out until I met her at the first initial meetings for Bravo. For the show, she was there, and that's where we met and reconnected, and then we filmed, and we just had so much fun. But the initial connection was Whitney took her to lunch to warn her about Lisa, and that's how she kind of got really involved.
And Lisa was upset that you invited her on your girls' ski day.
But I was like, Lisa, Meredith's here. Yeah, certainly. If you can ski with Meredith, you can ski with Angie,
right?
And I knew they wouldn't be on the same hills. I didn't really think it through. I just was like, why would I think it through?
Yeah,
it's housewives. Right. I mean, does everyone get along?
Invited.
I'm not asking that question. I was like, who do I want there? And that's how it ended up happening.
I gasped in Arizona after Jen had left and you guys kind of all hugged, and Meredith and Lisa had a long hug. And they held each other for a while. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, they were on a path to. That was a moment.
Yeah.
And I talked to Meredith about it just the other day. We were doing some interviews, and I was just like, that gave all of us hope. You could feel there was real, that was sweet.
Yeah.
It was it was hard to put her in that car. We thought she was going for it all, the trial, it was happening. And now it feels like it's been so delayed that potency and that emotion is a little bit, diminished. But it was big. It was intense.
Of course, we all now know what has happened with the trial because it is past now, but we're watching before all of that, and we're watching you guys be supportive friends. How did you personally feel after hearing what happened in New York, and now you have to watch how great you guys were to her?
Watching it back when she well, I'm glad. It makes me so grateful that she was struggling with all of that, not knowing what she was facing, and it makes me glad that we did that. And it also makes me think that we need to double down more right now, because this is it. It's happening. She's getting sentenced, and she's going to have to repay this debt to society. So us being mean or judging is not part of that. We just need to show up.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I thought it was very interesting because the seasons were on almost at around the same time of how your group reacted compared to Beverly Hills and how they reacted to Erica.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of judgment, and it
Very
felt
different.
like division more with that group, and with you guys, you kind of rallied around her, which was interesting to see just the difference in how you guys reacted to something like that, and maybe
polar opposites.
Yeah, it is
really
way different,
was.
and kind of crazy that this is all happening in just your third season of the show. I mean, it's big drama right off the bat. It's taken a couple years for the other show.
Machine of drama,
right? It's insane. And now that you're in the third season, are you totally locked into being a housewife now, or are you where
I wake up
do you
every
lie?
day praying there's not an email saying we have decided to go a different direction. Yeah, I don't feel, locked in. I've just, every day is a thrill. Mm-hmm. And this was a hard season for me. And it makes, having Bravocon be so huge and kind of connecting with all of those Bravo fans and seeing just that community, it was so fun, just to feel all of that. Now it feels like I have something to lose. And that makes me scared, because before it was just having the time of my life, and now it's I'm scared that I'll never be happy again.
Yeah.
Unless I'm a housewife. So I'm trying to balance that and be realistic, you know.
Yeah.
I got maybe 1-2 good years left, you know. So I got to profit from it and then have a backup plan. But Beauty Lab's my backup, you know.
Yeah.
It's a great business.
And so what's interesting is there's been so many friendship shifts and dynamic changes compared to, like you said, Rhea, like the first season. We're only on the third season. And there's been so many switches. People talk about it all the time, but how close-knit really is your community in Salt Lake City, where like friendships, the outside gossip infiltrates into your group?
I cannot stress that it is small Lake City. It is a beta fish bowl, like a cloudy goldfish bowl of everyone. Like we are all interconnected. Like all of these worlds, like you heard about, like the TikTok moms. That's Angie's ex-husband's wife. You know, like we're all. That's like there's no way you can't throw a stone or swing a dead cat with like hitting someone that's dated or seen or known.
Right.
So do you know what went on with all that?
Well, they never invited me to join.
So that's what you know for sure.
I'm offended first. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I don't really know, but it's just like it's so. Like
somebody knows
somebody.
You
recognize every single name, and you know someone that knows someone.
Something now too.
They have to be. I mean, the stuff that went down there is like one of the. It just because I think that the Mormon community is so interesting to people on the outside because there are so many rules that we hear of that we don't know if that's true, right? Like we don't know.
It's all true.
How like soaking.
True.
That's true. That's. Now, I don't want to call it crazy because I don't want to offend anybody, but also like...
Try it. It's basically tantric sex. It's basically Kama Sutra. Like Trudy, Tyler, and Sting do it all the time. So like you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like...
Kama Sutra.
What about
just no movement?
Right. The part where they soak and then somebody jumps on the bed.
That I think, I've never heard of that. I think that's too complicit. How do you like feel good about yourself the next day when you've been a jump humper?
Yeah.
Either the jumper
that's
or
what they
the
call
humper.
Jump humping, yeah.
That's a little, I've never seen or heard about that, but I could see like why waterbeds were popular. I don't know.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Yes. You've been working on your own story, putting it out there, writing it down. How has that process been for you?
It was pretty cool. I mean, writing the book was really cathartic because everyone knows I'm just obsessed with my Mormon, history and trauma. And writing the book was just like a huge step forward to like kind of the deprogramming of it all and releasing like all the expectations my family and friends have of me. But the book is not going to be, it's a great book.
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled that people are going to read it, but it does really, it really is going to put a wedge between me and the community, I think, that are feeling very protective of the Mormon faith.
Right. I was going to ask you don't consider yourself a Mormon anymore, or do
it's
you
like,
slightly?
I can never not consider myself a Mormon because that's what I was steeped in my entire life, but I am not practicing. I do not believe it, and I do think it can be very, very destructive.
Are your daughters involved at all still, or is it?
They went from not being able to show their shoulders or knees. If I saw a picture of them with their tongue out, I took their phone away, and now they are posting booty pics in string bikinis. My daughter's like, I'm over the D1 baseball boys. I'm into water polo guys. It's like it just cracked this world open for them, and they're teenage girls, and so I just am so proud of that, and that's like what I'm banking on.
It must feel freeing for you and also for them to just have this new chapter of your life.
It's completely freeing. And what's even bigger is to look back at if I hadn't done this, like changed or left, what their worlds would have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have been telling her to get married. She would have been, that's what's scary.
Yeah.
Because it's whatever they're doing now is their own story. Like write it, no expectation. But before, the expectations were black and white and set in stone. And all of my other friends are doing it. I'm seeing their kids do exactly all the things that I planned for my kids, and is what's so terrifying.
Is there anybody on the show who still really like is a practicing?
Well, Lisa
Mormon?
Barlow says she's Mormon 2.0.
Yeah, right.
I don't know whatever anyone's personal religious practices are, but Mormonism is an active participation religion.
Right.
It is your Mormonism is detailed by your participation in it. And that's like 2 hours on Sundays, at least once a week. You have a calling, which is 20 to 30 hours. You give 10% of your income. And I don't know where
the income thing really throws me off.
10%. Gross or net, you can choose.
With certain religions where they're like, people start, donating their salaries. And I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? It's like a little hairy.
Yeah. So you're kind of afraid that this book could maybe make some people upset.
Well, the thing is, I'm not afraid. I know it, but I don't want to give myself that much credit. But the truth is, we make oaths in the temple to never reveal secrets, to suffer our own life if we reveal those secrets. And if you don't believe in that anymore, it doesn't feel so sacrilegious to reveal those secrets.
Makes sense.
And so they're no longer secrets to me. They're just weird ass words that I did that every Mormon does, and like no one talks about it.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of frightening. No one talks about it. Even people that are disgruntled and leave, they don't talk about it.
Right. Yeah,
and
like
guess
you said,
what?
It's fascinating.
Now I've said it. Now we've said it. It's out there.
Exactly. And you're living your life the way you want to, and
you didn't
there's no reason to be scared.
I'm terrified. Let's talk about the husband. Let's talk about the Mormons. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of where you guys have been in Salt Lake City. How much has the Bravo world
stirred
changed?
Things up?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to sound corny. I am corny. But I get so thrilled because I see all of these people that have been pretty landlocked in Utah that want to be part of the industry, want to find a community, and there's no options. And
I'd imagine because it's such a small community that if you guys are all doing the show, it's successful, it's working, that there's got to be so many women now who are like, how do we get on?
Yeah,
how do I
even get into this? So, you know, like the crew and the production people and the locals. I thought everyone was imported. So when I would meet crew people that are working their way up through the ranks, and I'm just like, I'm so glad that we brought this opportunity to Utah because we wouldn't have an outlet any other way. We're a very small town. We really are.
Do you watch a lot of the other Bravo shows?
Yeah. I just beat Leslie Grossman in housewife history on Watch What Happens Live. So bring it. Ask me anything.
I just want to know what your favorite show to watch is.
I love them all. I really love all the housewives, but I've been really digging Family Karma, Shahs of Sunset. I like deep, rich, cultural, high-demand religion shows because it just resonates with me, and it feels like I can watch them and learn how to navigate it better, you know?
How was Bravocon? Did you love it? Was it ridiculous?
Like Dorinda said it was like being a Beatle, and I was like, it was like being Lady Gaga. I was going to upgrade a little bit. It was incredible, but it was more like a celebration of all the people that were there. Like we were no longer virtual, you know? And it was just like, I felt like I was doing it for the moms, you know, like just my people. I'm a Bravo fan, and I loved being there, and I just wanted to get in line and have meet and greets with everybody, you know? So it was a thrill.
On the outside looking in, it was awesome. We weren't there, but obviously we watched every TikTok that we could, Instagram stories. And it is funny, like you said, the way that people scream and go crazy. People I know were lining up for hours just to meet you guys. That must be just an amazing feeling.
It was an amazing feeling. And one night, usually we were rushing to get somewhere, but one night I came home from dinner and I was a little boozy. I'm like, I'm a little drunk. I like my outfit. Who wants to take pictures? You know, just like, bring it, ladies. It was fun.
What going into Bravocon, who were you the most excited to meet, and did you get to meet them?
I met everybody.
Everybody?
I met Kathy Hilton. I met Cal Richards. I met Phaedra.
Yeah.
I sat next to Eva. Spilled champagne. I knocked Vicki Gunvalson's drink out of her hand because I got excited to see Shannon. I mean, I did it all, and like I was thrilled to see
Vicki will never forget that.
I mean, Vicki got 2 happy ending massages. Did you hear that panel?
Yes.
Vicki's like, Vicki's now like, and my icon.
Fully
like,
detailed,
I didn't learn everything.
Fully detailed them. Like she was like,
the
you know.
6'5" Greek.
And then he did this.
I was like,
he did this, and it was great. And then I went back. Like it was like,
I
whoa,
thought she was
okay.
gonna say it was Mrs. Trunchbull from Matilda, but she meant business, and she got it done. You know, it was funny.
Are you allowed to say whose side you are on with this whole Lisa Rinna, Kathy Hilton, Kyle Richards?
You know, they asked me about it last night on Watch What Happens Live. Lisa Rinna reached out to me when I was getting trolled pretty hard for sticking up for Jen or just being a friend to Jen. And it was just great to be acknowledged by her and feel that encouragement. She just said, they're going to come for you, but just be a friend first. And I felt like that was like, it sounds weird, but it felt like industry advice, you know, like, because you think, oh my gosh, if I am my true self, I'm going to get kicked off the show and canceled. And that meant a lot to me. And I think Lisa Rinna keeps it straight, but I also think she's a great housewife and knows how to dish up drama. And I think Kathy Hilton is entitled to break down. And drag me, Kathy. I don't care. You know, it's all I just wish it had been on camera. Like every fan, you know.
Right,
I hate to debate it when you haven't seen it.
Yep. I will say Lisa Rinna saying be a friend first is, you know, a little ironic, but
well, listen, you take when you're like me, you take crumbs from anybody. You know, I didn't analyze it. I just framed it and put it on my wall.
When someone's nice to you and you're like, oh, they're nice to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's really cool that you got to see all the people that you've just been watching.
Yeah, it was. I made them all take selfies with me. Married to Medicine, all of them. They're all there. It was so cool.
You also filmed a season of Ultimate Girls Trip, which we know you guys were a part of another panel, right? At Bravocon, they had like the cast that did season 2, and then this future cast. Who's on your season? Remind me.
So it's Marisol and Alexia from Miami.
Okay, love
Giselle
them.
and Candace from Potomac.
Okay.
Leah Mobley and
Yes.
McSweeney from New York, and then me and Whitney from Salt Lake City. So like across like just random crazy group.
Yeah.
So fun.
Had you met any of those girls before going on the trip?
No. I had DM'd with Leah a little bit. We had a little crossover, and Whitney, of course. And I had done some stuff with Giselle and Portia Williams. Did I leave off Portia?
Yeah.
Portia Williams. I think I left her off on another thing too. Portia
Yeah.
was the queen. I followed her around like a puppy.
Yeah.
But like I just
Portia's
barely
so
didn't
huge
see
that
her.
it's
So,
like,
yeah,
oh,
Portia,
you forget
she's
that
the
you have to
sun.
mention her. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
she was the center of the solar system. Those were the satellite planets. Yeah, it was. I only knew them peripherally. I'd met them virtually, Portia and Giselle. So crazy.
Who surprised you the most?
Well, I keep saying Candace because she just rode hard for me, which I just thought she was going to hate me and just read me for filth, but she wasn't. She was so fun and great. And I loved everybody. I mean, I felt like I was among the masters, and I can't help but be a fan.
I love how much of a fan you are.
I can't help it. Like, I'm just like, what do you want to do? Sure, we can do that. Sure, yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, I'm into it. I'm on your side. Yeah, you know.
You're ready to try anything.
And it's nice to be open about it, because I think that there are a lot of housewives or new cast members on shows who try and like really play it like, oh, it's just
how
another
can we
day at
play
the
it
office.
cool? We're like plucked from our boring ass lives and given this opportunity to like fight in lingerie and have people comment on it. Like there is, all of us are lucky.
Yeah,
lucky
that's such a
ass
positive
bitches.
look on it.
No, you can say whatever you want.
Go for it.
Yeah.
But that's such a great look on it, and I think that if you keep that attitude going forward, then you're just going to have a great time always doing the show.
Until I get booted off and no one will respond. Like, remember me? This is our selfie. Like, we're friends.
But don't worry, you'll be calling Andy saying
just like I have an opinion.
Don't you have some show to put me on?
I'll move to New York.
I'll go anywhere.
There's got to be an opening somewhere.
Right. Salt Lake City Legacies, or maybe we could.
Here we go. It's a 4th season Legacy.
Yes,
There's 4 of us left. Like,
what? You guys went to Thailand for your trip?
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Hey, you got to go somewhere cool.
I know. That's what I was just like, that was like a gimme. Like when they flipped, I just was like, thank heaven. It
The
was
season
so fun.
2 girls must have really been like, wow, they really sent us to Dorinda's
Berkshire's
house.
like, come on.
I mean,
know.
Bluestone is iconic, but it's
I would have gone
not
anywhere. I would have
Thailand.
gone to Arizona with those women.
Yeah.
You know, that's the truth. But to have to get to go to Thailand, I'd never been on that side of the world, and it was overwhelmingly cool.
Yeah.
And just to change it up with people who you're not usually around is
And,
probably so exciting. Like, it's not the usual
all-stars.
people you film with.
No, they're all stars. These ladies know what they're doing. They are. It's white balls for batting practice. There's no messing around.
Did
know,
you
this
learn
is
a
it.
thing or two?
Yeah.
What do you think you learned the most?
I learned that these women are hardworking and that they are smart and funny and can read you and don't put up with a lot, but also don't suffer fools. And so I'm right there in the middle. You know? So you just, I don't know, you just respect how smart and funny and powerful they are. Like, it's 6 alpha women and you put them in a bag and it's Yahtzee. And that to me is like the most fascinating experience.
Yeah. It's a great concept. I'm glad they started to do it. It's such a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. It's so much fun to watch. And this season of Salt Lake City has been fun to watch as well. And we're going to see all the drama unfold, I'm sure. And how now you've finished filming 3 seasons now. This is a broad question, but do you have like a number one scene in your mind that was like the cringiest thing for you
that I did
to watch? Yes.
No, like top 15.
Yeah.
I cringe watching a lot of what I do, especially when I just kind of am tired or drunk or go for like a low-hanging fruit joke, and then of course it's used. You know, I'm like, I'm funnier than that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, but I'll just never get over the fact that we were in the party bus at the Beauty Lab and Laser parking lot, and the SWAT team was approaching. I watched that back, and I was like, we were just like, you know.
You know what's so funny is we had a little piece
We did.
of that, because there was a girl on the production crew who was in one of our sweatshirts.
Yeah, the merch. We know that the merch was in the parking lot.
Made one of the cuts of the scenes. And we were like, wow, we are engraved
You're
in
part
Bravo
of the
history.
landscape.
Yeah.
It is. It's a landmark.
And one of the biggest scenes ever.
Exactly.
Actually.
Like one of
Scary
the
Island
biggest,
worthy. And your merch is featured, guys.
Yes. Like
That's
when
like
that
a
is
crossover moment.
Right,
was
when
huge.
that is replayed like years, when Andy is 80 and he's replaying scenes at like Bravocon year 20.
For real. We're forever connected because it's always going to be a beauty lab.
Yep.
And it's going to be featuring your merch.
Yep.
I love it.
Women supporting women.
Yes, I remember we were like, wow, this was the moment our merch made. Couldn't ask for anything better.
So shout out to Gina, producer, repping the brand.
Couldn't have been better.
Yes. We played trivia
we
with
did.
her
We
too.
had
Yes, I
our
would love it.
trivia.
I love a game.
Yeah, we played trivia with her, which was so much fun. And she got to tell us a little behind the scenes of what was going on. So
love Gina.
it was
so smart and funny.
that was so great. But what can you tell us about the rest of this season? How far do you guys film into the decision of what happens with Jen?
Oh, with Jen pleading guilty.
Yeah.
We were just waiting for her trial to begin.
Okay.
And so we filmed up to like days before she thought she was before jury selection.
Okay.
Really, that's the last conversations we had on camera. So it was right up to the end.
Okay. Wow. So we'll definitely
be very interesting to
It'll be
watch.
very interesting to see, and I'm sure a reunion will be coming. You guys haven't filmed anything, right? Reunion
We haven't
wise.
filmed reunion yet, but it'll be.
The reunions are always
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, the reunions
That'll
are
be
always
a
the best.
good one. Do you have any hope for Meredith and Lisa?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad, we got to get them back
Yeah.
together. It may be dysfunctional, but at least we're together.
Yeah.
Not a broken family.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
And your book, Bad Mormon, comes out in February, right?
Yeah.
Looking forward to
that's gonna
that.
be great. So, Heather, thank you so much for coming
Thanks
in
for
and
having
talking
me.
to us.
Thank you so much.
Real
I'd love to come
Housewives of Salt Lake City airs Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Yes.
Yes.
It's 9. I'm pretty sure it's 9 p.m.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Because now, I always knew because it's like Beverly Hills into Salt Lake City, but now Beverly Hills is ending. So I'm like, do you guys stay there?
We probably stay and they just stagger
They
everything
put
back.
something else in. Yes. So Wednesdays, make sure you're tuning in. This season has been explosive and it's just going to get crazier. Heather, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Love it.